Let me ask you about the debate last night. The Benghazi story, the fact that 4 Americans died in Benghazi really did not come up. Hillary seemed to handle herself well. Tell us how you assess last night's debate.
I think she gave a very commanding performance, probably her best moment in the last 2 years in terms of politics, because you know, she was well prepared, she was effective, she countered the charges against her, and I think she strengthened her position as the leading candidate. So she did a great job, and there's no question about it.
Do you think that Joe Biden this morning is rethinking the opportunity to get into this race as a result of Hillary last night?
Well, you know, I know Joe, and I think I think he's been trying to struggle with the emotions of what he's been through, which has been a very difficult time. And so I'm going to let him make those decisions on his own. But I think clearly her performance last night is something for him to think about.
Your most recent book, still selling very well. I want to ask you about what you talked about as the head of the CIA, your biggest regret, your biggest opportunity. Take us back to those days.
Well, you know, it was a very challenging position. I think it was. I'm very proud of what the CIA did, particularly with regards to the operation against bin Laden. It was very successful. It took a lot of courage, particularly on the part of the SEALs who conducted that operation. I think the challenge we always had is to try to develop the most important intelligence and not be surprised. Not be surprised. And I think one of the concerns I had is that we were surprised by the Arab Spring, and we should have been on top of that.
That's a good point. And in terms of the cyber war that we face, you mentioned cybersecurity, one of the biggest issues for the country, and certainly threats. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I think cyber attacks are the battlefield of the future. You know, we've seen cyber attacks on denial of service attacks. We've seen the exploitation of information, our intellectual property. But the thing that concerns me the most is a cyber attack that destroys computers. And we saw Iran do that with what was called the Shamoon virus. They basically destroyed 30,000 computers at Aramco Oil. They can take that same kind of virus and cripple our electric grid system, cripple our transportation systems, our chemical systems, our water systems. And for that reason, we have to have not only a strong defense, we have to have a strong offense to deal with it.
Do we have it?
I believe we do. I think we need to better defend ourselves, particularly with regards to other government agencies besides defense and intelligence. And we also need to improve the private sector's capability to defend itself against those kinds of attacks.
That's an unlimited spend for corporate America.
It is.
They've got to keep investing in that.
They have absolutely got to continue that, because this is one area where it could literally cripple a company in terms of their ability to do business. They can't afford to do that.
Mr. Secretary, good to have you on the show today.
Nice to be with you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Secretary Leon Panetta. Straight ahead.